Scrieved to Hebrews, chapter 1. In the olden days, Almighty spake to our forebears through our prophets, many times and in many different ways. Nowadays, He's spoken to us through His Son, for He has made heir to all things, and through for He's made all creation. His Son is a brightness or esteem of Almighty, and the very image of Himself, holding up a whole world by a word of His power. After He had washed away all our ill deeds, He sat Himself down as Almighty's right hand, raised up a being of very sins, 'cause His name is greater nor theirs. Almighty never said to nae sin, "You're my loony, I'm a child for father to you." Nor did He say, "I'll be a father to him, and he'll be my loony." On mair when He fesses His allest bairn into a wirl, He says, "Let all the sins of Almighty worship Him." And this is fit He says about the sins. Almighty mocks His sins winds, and His servants flames of fire. But He says till His Son, "Your throne, Almighty, is forever and ever, and the scepter of justice is a scepter of your kingdom. Ye love fits right and hate fits wrong. Say Almighty, your Almighty, has anointed ye with the oil of gladness, of being all others." And He says, "You, Master, in the off-go, have laid a foun of a wirl, and the heavens are a work of your hands. They'll pass by, but ye'll bide. Like clays they'll grow all, and like a coatie you'll fall them up, and they'll be changed like clays. But ye'll endure for aye. Your ears will aid no een." But fun did He ever say to ony o' the sins, "Sit at my right hand, till I mock your face a fit still"? Are the sins nae but spirits in the service of Almighty, sent out to serve them for to heir Almighty's salvation? Hebrews chapter 2. Say we maun hold on, all a mair, to fit we've been telt richt gate, for fear we drift awa fae it. 'Cause gin the message, gien through the sins was richt, say only I didna bide be it, or hold on wi' it, we'd get fit was comin' to them. Fu can we win out gin we dinna pay attention till a salvation at's offered till His nowadays? His salvation was first announced through a word o' a Master Himself, on them fa heard it till His ains about it. On Almighty His proving fit they telt is, be signs and winners and fairlies all kind and be handsel, and a pure spirit all working out His ain will. Almighty didn't pit a wirl at still to come under a control of the sins, and that's a wirl we're speaking about. But somebody ain't said, "Fits a man at ye mine on him, or a son of men, at ye visit him. Ye made him a wee bitty anet the sins. Ye crooned him wi' esteem and honour, and ye set him o'er a work o' your ain hands, and ye put all things in servitude anet His feet." Tak heed that He says all things under a rule o' men. He left naething out, but we dinna yet see all things under His rule. Fit we see is Jesus, for a wee filey made laker nor the sins, subjected to pain and death, say at He myth, wi' Almighty's mercy, taste death for His all. New croon we esteem and honour. It was but richt at the Almighty, for created all thing, infessing mony wrongdoings to esteem, should mock a master of them all, a perfect master, through a fact that He suffered, a lad that mocks folk pure, and them that are made pure are een and the same. And He's nae affronted to call them His ain folk, says He. "I'll speak out your name to my ain folk, i' the midst of the borough of Chaldeans, I'll sing your praise. And he says, I'll put my trust in him. And again, look at this, me and a bairnies almichty has gien ma. Just as a bairnies are flesh and bleed, he took on flesh and bleed. Say at through his death, he might destroy him for his power o' death. That's to say, it deal himself, and say he might set loose them for all their lives were bound in chains, we being feared o' death. It's true to say that he didn't turn out to be a Saynd, but a human being. He no a bairns o' Abraham. He hid to be made the same as his brothers in ilka appearance, say he might be a merciful and faithful high priest, in all things relating to Almighty, and at the same time to bring about at Almighty would forgie all folks' ill deeds. 'Cause bewire his ain suffering under temptation, he can help all them far tempted. Hebrews chapter 3. Say then, my friends in Almighty, ye for have a part in the heavenly calling. Think on the apostle and the high priest of our faith, Jesus Nitatin. He was faithful to him for appointed him, just as Moses was faithful in the house Almighty. His child was counted worthy of more esteem nor Moses, just as a child that bigs a house gets more honor nor a house itself. Ilka house is bigot by somebody, but the child for bigot all thing is Almighty. Moses was surely faithful in all his duties in Almighty's house. A Gweed servant, but all he did was tell if it would be spoken after hine. But the Nitatin is faithful as a son, set our Almighty's house. On we're all at house gin we hold fast and keep up we're hopes steadfast till a hiner in. Say as a pure spirit says, a day, gin ye hear his voice, dinna be thrown as your forebears were, from they were tempted in the rock country. For your fathers tempted and tested me, and saw fit a deen for 40 year. I was nae weel pleased wi' that folk, and says, they aye mock mistakes in their hearts, but they didna ken my ways. Say I swear in my wrath, they winna win into my wrist. Tak heed, my friends, for fear there be in ony o' ye a coarseness o' heart, I disna believe and turns away fae a living Almighty, helping another to stand fast i' the faith ilka day, fun it's still called a day. For fear ony o' ye be teen in be a lees o' ill dean, 'cause we share we a Nitatin, all at he is for is, as long as we hold till the end. A trust we set out we, is as fit as Scripture says, a day, gin ye hear his voice, dinna be thrown like your forebears, and fa was it at rebelled. All them fa come out o' Egypt wi' Moses, fa was he raced we for 40 year. We them fa hadna behaved themselves, and fa's beans dropped doon deed in the rock country. And fa did Almighty say would never win in till his wrist. Was it nae a folk fa didna believe him? Say ye see, they couldna win in, 'cause they didna believe. Hebrews chapter 4. Now his same promise o' rest is offered to his a day. Say be careful at ye dinna fa short o' it. We hid at Gweed Saynd preach it to his just as they hid, but it didna dee them muckle gweed, 'cause though they heard it, they didna talk wi' it. We fa believe, div win till that rest. As he said, as I vowed in my rage, they'll never win in till my wrist. even though a works are finished for a creation or a wirl. Does the scripture nae say some why, o a seventh day? On Almighty rested on the seventh day for all his work? In that very bit of scripture we read, they'll never win in till ma rest. Nu, some mon win in, on cause them for first heard a message didna win in, cause they didna talk wi it. Almighty sets out another day, for he says through David, mony years after, a day, just as he said a day afore. A day, gin ye hear his voice, dinna be thrown, gin Joshua had gi'n them rest, Almighty wouldna hae spoken after hine o another day. There's aye, sign, a rest for Almighty's folk. On the chill for gangs in till that rest is resting fae his ain work, just as Almighty is resting fae his. We maun do all we can to win in till that rest, for fear ony chill, fa until this unbelief that we've spoken about. A word of Almighty is alive and powerful, and as sharp as a twa-edged sword, cutting straight through to fa a sentient being and a spirit meet. For a joints and a marrow come together, it works out the very thoughts and products of a heart. There's nae beast in all creation that can hide fae Almighty. All things naked and lies open before is sick to him for we have to do we. Seeing sign that we have a great high priest, fa's one in till a maist heaven, Jesus, a son of Almighty. Let's hold firm till we're faith, cause we hinna got a high priest that canna sympathize we were weaknesses. He himself was tempted, we all a temptations that we have, but he wasn't teen in be them. So let us boldly approach a throne of mercy, so we can get mercy, and find mercy to help in the time of want. Hebrews chapter 5. Ilka high priest is teen fae among men, and appointed on behalf of men, for things to do we Almighty, to offer hansel, and sacrifices for ill deeds. He maun hae patience with them that are nae weel learnt, and them for gang a bitty off a reals, cause he kens he himself can suffer for human weakness. That's fit why he maun offer sacrifices for himself as well as other folk. Naebody takes a honour of being a high priest unto himself, but he's called by Almighty till a work, just like Aaron was a all. In the same way, a Nitatin did not choose for himself a esteem of being a high priest. He was honoured by the een that said, Ye're my loony, is day have I fathered ye. And he says in another bit of scriptures, Ye'll be a priest forever, after a house of Melchizedek. A Nitatin, in the days when he was a man, offered up prayers and supplications, till the een fa could save him fae death. Roaring and greeting he was, with tears talking down his dish. His prayers were heard, cause he made himself humble. Loony though he must be, he learnt to do fit he was telt through his sufferings. Syne, when he was proven to be a perfect son, he come to be a road to everlasting salvation for all them for do fit he tells them. And Almighty declared he was a high priest or a house of Melchizedek. Nu, there's a handful of things that we'd like to say about his high priesthood, but it's guy course to put across till ya, seeing you're nae all that quick on the uptalk. Ye should be learning other folk be his time. but ye need to learn all over again the very first lesson o' Michta's word. Ye're yet in need o' milk rather than solid meat. Onybody fo lives on milk is bairnie, just hisna grown up. Solid meat is for them at our age. That's to say, them fa have learnt to work out for themselves fits gweed and fits ill. Hebrews chapter 6. So let's leave behind the primary school teaching o a neatitine, and hold on to mere well-seasoned understanding. Dinna let us lay again the founds of truth, having a change in thoughts and feelings, for deeds at led to death. Believe in Almighty, immersion, a laying on of hands, belief in a life to come, on a hindmost judgment. On this will die gin Almighty a lose. Van folk have been enlightened. Van they've hid a taste o' a heavenly gift. Van they've teen in the pure spirit. Van they've experienced the Gweed word o' Almighty. On the powers o' a wirl at's to come. And sign, after all that, have found awa. It's guy near impossible to fest them back again to a change in thoughts and feelings. They're crucifying the Son o' Almighty again in o' their ain sentient beings, and subjecting him to open shame. A grun attacks in the rain at's aye fa'n on it, and gars a planties grow for them fa shav them, is grun at his a blessing o' Almighty. But the grun at grows nathan bit thistles and dockins is on nae value, and sooner or later will be cursed and will eat up being burnt. But my friends, though we speak like this till ye, we ken better o' youings, and that makes for your salvation. Almighty disna dee fits nae fair. He winna forget your work and your labour o' love, in all that ye've done in his name, and looking after your fellow Christians, as ye're aye doing it. We're wintin' ilka een o' ye to shew his same willin', till a hiner rain, say at your hope mith be sure. We dinna want neen o' ye to shirk, but follow the example of them, for through long-suffering faith, come to heir a promises. For Almighty made his promise to Abraham, 'cause he couldna swear be ony greater. He swore be his ain sel, and he says, surely blessing I'll bless ye, and multiplying I'll multiply ye. And sign Abraham, pitting up wi' things for mony a year, von a promise come true. Von ye swear an aith, ye ease while a swear by something greater nor your ain soul. And gin ye pit something on an aith at's ain o' it, nae mere striving, say Almighty, wintin' to shew a yont all doot, at his plan would never be altered, confirmed it wi' an naith. Here sign are 12 things that can never be changed. On the boot fit Almighty can never lie. A word o' Almighty, on the eighth o' Almighty, to gie poorful heartening to his five grasp it for refuge, a hope at's a set before his. This hope we had as an anchor to our sentient beings, baith sure and steadfast, and gone through a curtain to fits a yont, to for Jesus has already gien for our sakes, han been made as we've seen, a high priest for all time, o a house o Melchizedek. Hebrews chapter 7. Now this Melchizedek was king o' Salem, and a priest of Almighty, maist high. He met in wi' Abraham when he was coming hame fae a slaughter o' a kings, and blessed him. Abraham gied him a tithe o' all he'd ta'en in effectin. Melchizedek means king o' righteousness, and his other name was king o' peace. 'Cause you see, solemn means peace. He'd nae father nor mither, nor ony family tree. He wasna born, nor did he come till an een. But being like a son o' Almichty, he's a priest for all time. Now just think on fu great this chiel is, at even Abraham gied him a tithe o' his lutens. Mair nor that, a law says that the descendants o' Levi, fa tak up being priests, have a richt to claim a tithe fa folk at other brothers, even though they're all descended fa Abraham. But though Melchizedek wasna descended fa Levi, he still and on collected the tithe fa Abraham and blessed him. A chiel fa had gotten Almichty's promises, and ye canna argue at the chiel fa gets a blessing is nae as far ben as a chiel fa gies it. In the A case, it's a chiel fa Mondi at gets a tithes, and on the tither hand, it's een fa we're telt is alive. Ye might say at even Levi, fa's dew his tithes, his himself been tithed to his chiel. 'Cause von Melchizedek first met him, he was still in the lines o' his forebear Abraham. New gin perfection had been able to be won at through a Levitical priesthood, 'cause it was through it, at the law was gien till a folk. Fit was the ease o' another priest rising up in the house o' Melchizedek, instead o' a following o' Aaron. 'Cause gin there's a change in the priesthood, there maun sign be a change in the law. And the een we're speaking about here belongs to a different clan. None of fa ever served as a priest. It's well kent that he was fa a clan at come out of Judah, and Moses never spoke anything about priesthood in that clan. It all becomes as plain as day. Gin a new priest fa rises up is like Melchizedek, made a priest, nae be human rules and regulations, but fa poor o' a life at canna be connacht. For this was said, ye'll aye be a priest, after a hoose o' Melchizedek. So ye see, a commandment at gaed afore has been cancelled, 'cause it was feckless and useless. A law couldna lead anybody to be perfect, but the fessin in all a better hope did, and that's a why we draw near to Almichty. And it's all a better seeing he become a priest through a aith Almichty. Other chiels have been made priests without an aith, but Jesus his a aith, for said o' him, a maester has gien his aith and winna tak it back. Ye'll be a priest forever. This is why Jesus is a guarantee of a better covenant. And there were mony other priests, 'cause they couldna live forever, and were some like to slip o' timbers. But Jesus lives forever, so his priesthood doesna pass on to naebody else. That's a why he can save to a very marrow all them fa come to Almichty through him, 'cause he's living to speak out for them. Here's a priest we're seeking, nae adulterated, faultless, nae defiled, ayont the very reach o' Ildean, and made hicker nor the heavens. He doesna need to offer up sacrifices ilka day like a tither priest dee, for his ain Ildeans and sign for other folks. He ain't made a sacrifice for all, fun he offered himself up. A law mocks feckless heek priests, but the priest appointed be the word o' the aith at's a being a law, has been made perfect for aye. Hebrews chapter 8. Nu is fit I've been saying till ya. We have sic a heek priest, sitting on the right-hand side of the throne of His Majesty in heaven. He's a minister and a sanctuary on the true tent that was putting up by Almichty, nae by man. Ilke high priest is ordained to offer gifts and mock sacrifices. Anur high priest mon hae something to offer tea. Gin he was here i the wirl, he wouldn't be a priest, since there are already priests for offer gifts according to the law. A work of sick chills is but a copy of a shadow of fits in heaven. You'll mind not van Moses was gone to pit up the tent. He was tilt be almighty. See at ye mock all thin according to a pattern you was shewn in the mountain. But a ninteteen is been gien a ministry, as a wa hein a been at. Just as a covenant atween him and Almighty is a wa a been. 'Cause it's a bigot on the foon of better promises. Gin the first covenant had been up till a mark, the second teen wouldn't hae been naughtin. But Almighty finds fault wi' his folk, when he says, See nu a day's come, says a maester, when I'll mak a new covenant wi' a hoose o' Israel, and the hoose o' Judah. It winna be like a covenant I made wi' their forebears in the days when I took them be a hand and led them out o' Egypt, 'cause they didna haud wi' a terms o' that covenant, and I turned awa fae them, says the maester. This is a covenant I'll make wi' a hoose o' Israel, after that days, says the maester. I'll put my laws into their heads, and scrive them in their hearts, and I'll be almighty till them, and they'll be my folkies, and they winna hae to say to ane another, ilka man till his brither, ken the maester? 'Cause they'll all ken ma, fae lakest till a heekest, and I'll talk pity on them when they didna behave, and I'll forgie their ill deans. Bespeaking a new covenant, Almighty maks an all een gang out to date. Nu van a thing gang's wisn't, an out to date, it winna be long nor it's deen a wawi. Hebrews chapter 9. Nu a first covenant hid its roles for worship, and it is a worldly sanctuary too. A tent was pitten up, on the outmost bit o' it hid a candlestick, a table for a offering bread. It was called a pure place. In by, ayont a curtain, was a ben mace tent called a pure o' pures, and in o' it was a golden altar, for a burning o' incense, on the ark o' a covenant holding a golden pot o' manna. On Aaron's stick, it had sprouted on a tablets wi' a commandment scriven on them. On a bean was a cherubim o' a stem, casting their shadow o'er the covering o' the ark, called a mercy seat. I hinna time to say mair about that anew. In this set out, the outmost tent was used by the priests for the religious duties, but the benmost tent was used bit eens a year by a high priest, carrying a sacrifice of blood for his ain ill deeds and the ill deeds of a folk. By sick things, a pure spirit means is to understand, at a way until a pure of pures wasna yet open. As long as the outmost tent was aye standing, this is all symbolic, pointing to newer days. The offerings and the sacrifices was aye standing. This is all symbolic, pointing to newer days. The offerings and the sacrifices couldna do ony good for a cleansing o' a sentient being or a worshipper. It was just a matter of meat and drink, wise a washing yoursel and purification ceremonies, just foist on them till sick time as a ninteteen should fess been a troth. But nu a ninteteen is come, a high priest o' Gweed things that are to come. A tenth o' his priesthood is greater and mair perfect, nae bigot by ony human hand, that's to say, nae belonging to this wirl. It wasna we goat's bleed, nor calf's bleed, but we his ain bleed, at he won in till a pure o' pures, and has gotten everlasting salvation for his. Gin the bleed of bulls and goats and the ees of brunt quake were, van sprinkled enough to make a folk pure, then full muckle mair will a bleed of a neetateen himself, for through his everlasting spirit offered himself to Almighty as a perfect sacrifice. Purify your sentient beings for ill deeds or death, so ye may serve a living Almighty. This is why a neetateen works for his new covenant, haying a poor through his death to fetch deliverance for ill deeds committed through the old covenant. Say at them for Almighty has called till him mith get a promise o everlasting inheritance. 'Cause just like a will, a covenant isn't valid till a body is deed. For a body for mocks a will's living, a will his nae effect. And we see a all covenant itself didn't tak effect without bleeds being spoilt. 'Cause von Moses telt the folk ilka command or a law. He took a bleed of calfies and goats wi water, and redo, and hyssop, and sparkle a book, and all a folk saying, "This is a bleed o a covenant Almighty maks wi ya." Moreover, he sparkled wi bleed a tent and all a pure corpse, according to a law, near all cleansing and dean wi bleed. Ye might say, at without a shedding o bleed, there is nae forgien. It was necessary at a patterns of things in the heavens be purified by sick sacrifices. But the heavenly things themselves could only be made pure in a sick Almighty with greater sacrifices nor sick-like. A neetateen didna gang into pure places made by human hands. Sick places are just an off-talk o a richtings. But he gaed on to heaven itself to stand afore Almighty for his. He wouldna keep an offering himself hour and hour, like a high priest gone in till a pure appears, ilka year wi a bleed o another beast. That would mean he had to suffer death ilka time he gaed into heaven for a very start o a whirl. A fact is, that he's appeared eens and for all at the heinering o time, to do awa wi ill dean be a sacrifice o himself, on its oor lot to do eens, and syne comes a judgment. Say a neetateen was offered eens to thole the ill deans o money, and to them that look for him, he'll appear a second time, nae to deal wi their ill deans, but to fetch them to salvation. Hebrews chapter 10. A law is but a shadow, and nae a true picture o a Gweed things to come. Sae it couldna mak perfect as sentient beings o them for made their sacrifices year after year. Gin it hid, syne the sacrifices wouldna notin to hae been continued, 'cause the worshippers, cleansed eens and for all, wouldna hae had ony sense o ill dean. Whosoever a sacrifice served to mind a folk ilka year o their ill deans, a bleed of bulls and goats canna tak awa your ill deans. Say fun a neetateen comes into a whirl, he says, "Ye dinna want sacrifices and offerings, but ye've made ready a body for me." Brunt offerings and sacrifices for ill deans did nathan to please ye. Syne says I, "See, I've come, as it says o' me in the book o' the law, to do fit ye went me till, Almighty." First of all, he says, Almighty takes nae pleasure in sacrifice and offering and brunt offering, made according to the law. Syne neetateen says, "See, I've come to do fit ye went me till, Almighty." That why, Almighty takes awa all wise to establish anew, and that why we are made pure through a offering o a body of Jesus a neetateen, eens and for all. Ilka priest stands ilka day, ministering and offering hour and hour again a same all sacrifices, at condeen Nathan te takawa il deans. But is chill after he had offered the a sacrifice for ill deans forever, sat himself down on the richt hand the Almighty, for he waits till his face are made until his fit steel. Throughout a offering, he's made perfect for all time ilka een fa he mocks pure. A pure spirit himself confirms this till his, for he says, first of all, this is a covenant I'll mock with them after 8 days, says the Master. I'll put my laws on their hearts, unscribe them into their minds. On sign, he says, on their ill deeds and coarseness, I'll mind nae mair about. Say fan ill deeds have been forgien, there's nae need for ony mair offerings. Say throw a bleed o' Jesus, my friends. You and me can hae spunk to haud in till a pure o' pures. He opened up a living way for his to gang through a curtain. That's to say, his ain flesh. Nu he and a hake priest set our a house almighty. Let's draw near Han wi a true heart full of confidence in the faith. We're guilty hearts sprinkled clean, and we're bodies washed wi pure water. Let's hold fast till a hope we profess. We nae deval, 'cause we can aye depend on him. And let's think on een another, on fu we can bears een another to lu and de Gweed works. Nae forgetting to attend a borough o' callings regular, like some folk. Let's do all we can to help een another's faith. All the mair as ye see a day drawing near. Nu gin we dinna behave ourselves eens we can and accept that troth. There can be nae mair sacrifices for ill deeds for is, but just a terrifying expecting o' judgment on the fire o' Almighty's wrath at will burn all at stands counter him. A chill for disna talk wi a law o' Moses gets a death sentence wi nae mercy on a word o' 2-3 witnesses. Fu muckle more div ye suppose a sentence will be for a chill for his trumpet on a son o' Almighty, untreated like dirt a bleed o' a covenant, at had eens made him pure, and affronted the vera spirit o' mercy. We ken fa it was that said, vengeance is mine, I'll pay ye back. And again, a maester will judge his folk. It's an awful thing to fall into the hands o' a living Almighty, but mine on a days o' all long syne, after ye'd seen a licht, unthold sick a sair effect, whiles ye were made a fairly and ye were miscawed and tormented, and whiles ye steed up for them that were ill used a same way. Ye took pity on the lads in the jail, and were cheery when your gear was pointed, 'cause ye kent ye hid something better. I be cruce, 'cause sick is a great payback. Ye maun thole all wi long suffering gin, after ye've deen Almighty's will, ye're to get fit he's promised. For still anon, in a wee filey, him fa's comin' will come, and winna be latchy. My richest folk will live be faith, and gin he curry back, I winna be fair shooted wi him. But we're nae a kind of folk at curry back at tine wursels. Nae fegs, we have a faith on our Sabbath. Hebrews chapter 11. New faith means putting our hale confidence in the things we hope for, and being sure of things we cannot see. It was through their faith at the all folkies one acceptance fae Almighty. It's through faith that we come to understand that the hale world was bigot be a word o' Almighty. Say that fit can be seen was made out of fit canna be seen. It was through his faith that Abel made a better sacrifice to Almighty nor Cain. Through faith he came to ken that Almighty looketh on him as a Gweed kind of chiel, 'cause Almighty accepted his offerings. And through faith he aye speaks, even though he's dead. It was 'cause of his faith that Enoch was ta'en awa without seeing death. He couldna be found 'cause Almighty had ta'en him. And that's 'cause Scripture says that Almighty was rail shooted wi' him. But without faith ye cannot please Almighty. A chiel that comes to Almighty maun believe that Almighty exists, and that it's worthwhile to seek him out. It was through faith that Noah, being warned of a disaster to come, bigot the ark to save all his folkies. By his faith he condemned the wirl, at won for himself a righteousness that comes through faith. It was through faith that Abraham held the wa out to a place that in the hinarine would be his, nae kenning fan he set out for he was gone. It was through faith he had gone in a front country, to a promised land, biding in tents wi' Isaac and Jacob. For airt wi' him a same promise, 'cause Abraham was seeking a tune wi' a solid fune. For's architect and mason is Almighty. It was through faith that Sarah won the strength to be a mither in spite of her old age. And a bairnie, as she did, weel ayont her years, 'cause she held that the een that had gi'en her a promise could be trusted. Sae fae the ae chiel, and him thought to be past it, there came a clan as mony as the stars i' the lift, and as countless as the grains of sand on the shore. All that folk deed in the faith, though they hadna yet gotten the promises of Almighty. But they'd seen them hine awa, and welcomed them and took wi' them, kenning themselves to be nae mair nor fremd as just passing through in this world. Folk that say sick things ken fine. They're looking for their ain fireside. Gin they'd meant the country they'd come out of, they had ilka chance to gang back till it. But instead, they were seeking a better country altogether, naething less nor a heavenly een. That's a why Almighty's neen affronted to be called their Almighty. He's gotten a muckle tune ready for them. It was through faith that Abraham, when he was putting till a test, sacrificed Isaac. Aye, a chiel that had heard Almighty's promises was willing to offer up his ae loon. Afore it had been said, "It's through Isaac your offspring will be counted." He believed that Almighty would raise him up, even fae a deed, and he did kinda win him back fae a deed. It was through faith that Isaac gied Jacob and Esau his blessing, telling them about things to come. It was through faith that Jacob, in the throes of death, blessed Joseph's loons, bowed over his wrong. It was through faith that Joseph, when he slipped the timbers, spake o' the exodus o' Israel out of Egypt, and left instruction about fit was to be done wi' his beans. It was through faith that Moses was hodden by his mother and father 3 months after he was born, 'cause they saw he was a lad of parts and were neen feared o' a king's edict, at all we loonies should be drowned. It was through faith that Moses, when he was a man, refused to be called Pharaoh's doctor's loon. He would rather suffer hard wi' Almighty's folk, nor tak up wi' wives o' sick and ill-getting country for little mair nor a season. He thought a reproach o' a neentithing mair precious nor all a wealth o' Egypt, 'cause he kept his eye on a reward to come. It was through faith he led the exodus out of Egypt, nae a least feared at the king's anger, 'cause he had the strength o' een that sees a Almighty that canna be seen. It was through faith he keepit the first Passover, and the sparkling of blood, sae at the sin o' death that killed all his loons wouldna touch his folkies. It was through faith they walked through a reed sea, as gin on dry land. Whereas the Egyptians, when they tried, were all drowned. It was through faith that the walls of Jericho came tumbling down, 'cause a folk had deemed fit Almighty tilt them and held on round about it for 7 days. It was 'cause of her faith at Rahab, a whore, didna gang a same gate as them fa didna die fit their tilt, 'cause she made the Israeli spies welcome. Fit mair need I say. I hinna time to tell ye all the tales of Gideon, Barak, Samson, or Jephthah, or David, Samuel, or the prophets. Through our faith, our chills overcome hail countries, wrought righteousness, saw Almighty's promises come about, stopped the mouths of lions, put out raging fires, escaped being killed by a sword. The shargers they were turned into stout chills, foremost i' the fighting, and pat hail armies to flict. Some come back to their women folk fae very jaws of death, as gin they'd been rescued fae a deed. Others were tortured, refusing to be let loose, wanting to win till a better resurrection in the world to come. Others were scoffed at, and flogged, and chained up in the jail. They were stained, sawn in twa. They were tempted by false promises and sign putting till a sword. They wandered about rigged out in sheepskins and goatskins, with nae a make to their name. Sair come at the tormented by a wirl. It's still our course to see their worth. They wandered about in the rock country, in the mountains, in caves, or in bores in the ground. They all got a Gweed report through their faith, but yet they didna get fit was promised till them, 'cause Almighty had a better plan in mind for our days. Say at it was only along we is, they should win to perfection. Hebrews chapter 12. Say we have this great crowd of witnesses all around about us. Lay down a work that's on us, on ilka ill dean at we hold on till, and let's run a race that's afore us with patience. Wherein fixed on Jesus, where faith depends on him fae beginning till end. Jesus, for cause of a joy at lay afore him, suffered the stake, despising the shame, and now is sitting down at the right hand of the throne Almighty. Think on who he pot up we all at coarse mood chills, said about him, and ye winna grow weary nor tine your courage. Your fecht against ill wise hisna yet meant a shedding of ony bleed. Have ye forgotten the words at remind ye at your Almighty's ain bairns? Maloon, dinna think licht o' your telling off ye get fae a master. Nor talk a dwam fan he tells ye you're doing wrong. A master gies a telling off to them he lose, and gies a Gweed hiding to ilka een he talks in. Ye mun thole in our gyan, 'cause Almighty's talking ye through han like his bairns. Fittin' alone has never hid an hour gone fae his ain feyther. Gin ye've never hid a lickin', ye mun be gotten on a wrong side o' a sheets, and nae a true son. Fin we were loons, we did fit we were bidden be were feythers, 'cause we respected them. Fu muckle mair sign, mun we fit were heavenly feyther bids is and learn fu to live. Were feythers bid as fit they thought was richt for a wee filey when we were bairns. But Almighty keeps his richt all were days. Say we mith share we his pureness. Nu, naebody ever likes to get a lickin' at a time. In fact, it can be guy sair. But fun it's our, and dean we can see it was for we're ain Gweed, in a peaceful fruit o' righteousness. To them fa talk we it in a spirit it was meant. Come on and heist your dweebly arms and shaky knees, and mark a straight road for your feet. On a richt road, a cripple fit recovers its strength and disna fooner. Dinna strive, we folk, and live a pure life. Wi' you that you'll never see a master. Watch out at Nina ye fa awa fae mercy at almighty gees, like a sour dockin sprouting up amo ye, causing trouble and poisoning mony o' ye. Mock sheer Nina ye gongs about whoring or worldly minded, like Esau, for selt his inheritance for a moo for a mate. Mindful, afterhin, when he sought the blessing, he was rejected. There was nae why he could gang back on fit he'd deen, even though he sought it with tears rinning doon his nib. Ye hinna come till a mountain at canna be touched, wi' its blazing fire, its black murk, its furling wind, and out o' it a blast, and a tutru, and a voice that spak words that fa heard it prigged at it wouldna speak ony mair, 'cause they couldna stand a command it made. Gin even a beast touch this mountain, it maun be steened to death, or run through wi' a blade. A sicht was sae awfu' at even Moses cried out, I'm terrified, and shaken at the sicht o' it. Na, ye stand afore Mount Zion, on a tomb o' a living Almighty, a heavenly Jerusalem, on a countless number o' sins, a hail jing bang o' Almighty's allest loons, for his names are written abeen, unto Almighty a Jija, to sentient beings o' Gweed shields made perfect, unto Jesus, a mediator of a new covenant, unto a sparkling o' bleed that tells a better story nor a bleed o' Abel. Say mock sure ye dinna refuse to hear a word o' Almighty, 'cause gin them fa refuse to hear them fa spak till them on earth didna win awa, fitna why will them fa refuse to hear a word o' Almighty win awa? His voice shook a very wirl, but knew he's gien is a promise. Still and on, eens mair I'll shock, nae just a wirl, but the heavens tea. Fit he's saying is that in this last shocking, all thing that was made will be deen awa wi, and only fit's got a Gweed foon will be left behind. We are getting a kingdom that canna be shocking. We maun thank Almighty and worship him richt gate. We reverence and pure fear, 'cause where Almighty is an all-consuming fire. Hebrews chapter 13. Keep on luin een anither like family. Mine and welcome in a friend to your house. Some folk have teen in sins without kenning it. Mine on a folk that are in the jail, as gin you were there wi' them. Mine on all far suffering as gin you were suffering wi' them. Marriage is honourable to all, and man and wife maun be faithful to een another. Almighty will judge whoremongers and them that commit non-marital sexual intercourse. Keep your lives red o' hankering after siller. Be contented wi' fit ye got. Almighty said, I'll never leave ye nor forsake ye. We can be stout, sign, and say, a maester's my help, and I'll nae be feared. Fit can ony man dee to ma. Mind on your leaders, for spak a word o' Almighty till ye. Think on a why they conducted themselves, and ye dee the same gate in your faith. Jesus e neetatines aye a same, yestereen, a day, and forever. Dinna be carried awa wi' all kind of curious learnings. Where sentient beings maun win their strength fae a mercy o' Almighty, and nae throw rowels about fit wi' it. Them that's gain doon that road have had nae help ava. Our altar is een at the priest o a Jewish tabernacle if ne richt te etat. Fin the bleed of beast was gien as an offering for Ildeans by a high priest in a pure place. A beastie's bodies were burnt outside the camp. A same way, Jesus, van he sanctified men by a shedding o his bleed, suffered outside a gate the town. Let's gang out till him sign, outside a camp and share his shame. We have nae permanent tune here, but we seek the een at's to come. Through Jesus' sign, let's offer up never een praise till Michte. We lips at gie thanks till his name. But we mauna forget to die gweed to other folk and help een another, 'cause that's the sacrifices at please Almighty. Die fit your leaders tell ya and follow their orders. They're watching over your sentient beings, 'cause they maun gie an account to Almighty. Let it be a happy duty for them and nae a truckle, 'cause that is ye nae gweed. Pray for us. We're sure our conscience is clear. The ae thing we're seeking is to aye die richt. On the prig we ye to pray your hardest say I mith be sent back till ye all a sinner. Nu, Almighty of peace, for brought back fae the deed were meester Jesus a Nitateen, at great shepherd o a sheep, through a bleed o his everlasting covenant, mak ye perfect in all gweedness say ye mith die his bidden, and mith he work in his fits pleasing till him, through Jesus a Nitateen, to fa be a stem forever and ever. So be it. Fit I've said, my friends, I would gar ye talk we, 'cause this scriving nae vera long. I maun tell ye where brother Timothy's been lottin' out. Gin he comes here or long, he'll be wi me fan I see ye. Tell all your leaders and your Boraka Cardines, we were spearing for them, and our friends in Italy are spearing for ye too. Grace be wi ye all. So be it.